So hi, I'm Shannon Haughton and I'm a data scientist and R developer at GSK. And today I'm going to talk about an R package and Shiny application that I've been helping to develop for our medical writers. So first off, a little backstory. So when the data from clinical trials is programmed into tables, figures, and listings to submit to our regulators, it's often saved in the format of RTFs and PDFs. And this is done by our clinical programming teams. Our medical writers then take these displays and they build a CSR document, clinical study report, and that contains some of those displays and builds the story of the clinical trial. And this is often done in Word. Now, guess what doesn't play nicely together? PDFs, RTFs, and Word. So our medical writers were painstakingly copying and pasting displays and formatting each of them for their Word documents. So we stepped in to help. And we did this by providing them with an R package and Shiny application, Glitter. And Glitter provides an interface for our non-programming medical writers to take the output that's already been provided by our programmers and automatically insert it and format it into Word. Now that sounds great, but like any tool in development, we've come across some snags when releasing to users, specifically when it came to the collaboration between those two teams, programming and medical writing. So I'm going to talk today about how, by using the code base that we already had for Glitter and thinking a little bit outside the box, we optimized this collaboration for our teams. So first of all, to get a bit of a better understanding of this problem, I'm going to take you back in time just a little bit to the late 90s. So imagine that you're off to work, you've got a really big day ahead of you, a lot of people relying on you turning up on time. You prepared beforehand, you've got your briefcase, you read your map about how to get there because this is the 90s, and you hit the road. You're turning the corner and there's loads of traffic. So now you're going to be later than you planned to work and it was all outside of your control. You don't know an alternative route to get there on your own. So the best that you can do is wait until you finally get there, speak to your colleagues, and maybe they know a better route that you can choose for next time. So this is similar to a problem that we were having with our Shiny application Glitter. So in this case, our medical writing team, they were the team that was waiting at work. They're equipped with Glitter. They've had some training. They know what they need to get done. They know when their timelines are. But Glitter relies on some information from the programming team to be able to get started. The programmers have the best intentions. They prepared their displays and they sent them on their way. But if we remember, our end goal for programming was just those RTFs and the PDFs. So if those came out successfully, then they're none the wiser to what happens downstream. But that should be okay, right? Because everything always goes smoothly when you're programming, right? Of course not. So they hit a roadblock. The displays aren't appearing as expected for medical writing. They don't seem to be compatible with the application. There could be so many different reasons for this. Studies vary a lot and the displays have a lot of nuance. But luckily, it's okay because we built in some error messaging within our Shiny application, so the medical writers can see exactly what's going wrong. But if we remember, our medical writers aren't programmers. So a lot of the time, rightfully, they don't understand what these error messages mean. The only way forward is for the different teams to have a lot of back and forth, programming, testing out different fixes, medical writing, hoping they work, and that we can all get there on time. As developers, we were often the middlemen between these two teams, helping them to work together. Now, this isn't effective collaboration. It consisted in a lot of feedback loops and delay for our teams, which is obviously tedious, and it creates a breakdown in trust, not just between the two teams, but also with the application itself. So how did we fix this? You've probably figured it out already, but for our travel analogy, the solution is GPS. So the early 2000s rolled around and GPS started to become available for the general public to use. And the best part about it was that the technology was already there. So GPS was approved for military use in 1973. The first satellite was launched in 1978. By 94, there were 24 satellites and global coverage. And then in 2000, the restrictions that were originally placed on civilian use of GPS were removed. So now, in 2000, we have this extra use case and all these benefits, and most of the technology and the infrastructure already existed. So with a little extra work, we no longer have to rely on a try it and see approach to travel. We can see if there's traffic or there's road closures on the road ahead, and we can be more agile along the way with finding a solution. So how did we fix this in Glitter? So we looked at our existing code and we thought, how can we empower our programmers to predict these issues and fix them so that nobody gets delayed? And so Glitter for Programmers was born. So we created a simplified version of our application and we removed everything that was specific to medical writing and we published this for programmers to use. So the simplified version of the app required little extra work and training for them, but it allowed them to see these errors for themselves and fix them without so much back and forth with medical writing. So this way, by the time our medical writers hit their timelines, everything should be ironed out already by the programming team. So creating Glitter for Programmers was made easier by a couple of things. So we built Glitter as a packagized Shiny app, which makes having different versions available simultaneously a little bit easier. And we also modularized our Shiny app. So removing the bits that weren't needed, that related specifically to medical writing, that wasn't a super complicated task for us where we had to detangle it all. It was already pretty separated out. And this process eliminated so many feedback loops and so much frustration. And because we had all the code already, it was high impact for very little work on our part. So sure, programming weren't the intended users of our tool, but that didn't mean that they couldn't benefit from our code. So in essence, our workflow has remained the same. We still have our RTFs, PDFs, and Word documents that we had at the beginning. But by thinking outside the box, we were able to give both teams a new tool in their tool belt rather than just one. And as a result, we were able to transform this team collaboration. So in conclusion, our journey with Glitter has taught us two valuable lessons. The first is successful solutions often require us to consider more than just our end users. So in our case, involving the programmers directly led to significant improvement for our end users in medical writing. And secondly, we often already possess the tools that we need to optimize our processes. We just need to think creatively about how to use them. So by reimagining our existing code, we were able to transform team collaboration with Shiny. And that is everything from me. I think we're pretty much at time, so I don't know if we have any time for questions, but I'm happy to discuss afterwards if there are any.
Oh, there is a question that just came in from Hannah. Is the application available outside of GSK?
Currently, it's just internal, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, hopefully maybe there will be an opportunity to open source that in the future. We always love to see these use cases in the Shiny space. Well,
Yeah, crossed.
all right. Yeah, I know how that goes. All right. Well, thank you so much, Shannon. We'll probably close up shop here. And yeah, thank you again for your great presentation.